All right, welcome to this tutorial, guys. So in this one, we're going to learn how to build a digital clock. Okay, so basically this is what a digital clock is, and that's what we're going to build in JavaScript. So this is the current time, and this is today's day and date. Okay, so that's what we're going to be building with JavaScript. So basically it takes the time from the user's computer. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, but if you're not subscribed to my channel and you enjoy content like this, I want to encourage you to subscribe and to hit the thumbs up. Okay, thank you so much. That really encourages me to make more tutorials. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this is basically what we have: a blank HTML file with this starter template and styles.css. Okay, so we are just going to put our JavaScript on the HTML file. Let me just do a div with a class of container, which is going to hold everything, and then I'll do a div with a class of title, and then within that div I'm just going to add a h1 tag that is going to say digital clock. Okay, so let's come out of there and let's just do another div with a class of display. Okay, and I'm just going to duplicate this div, and I'm going to give this first one a modifier class of date, okay, which is going to hold our date, and then I'll give this one a modifier class of time, and that's all for the markup. Okay, so next let's write some styles for this aspect. So I'll go to my styles.css, and I already have this reset pasted in. So margin, normal reset, and then font family of Arial sans serif, and then font size of 10 pixels. Okay, so I already have that here. So let's just continue and add some more styles. So our first, okay, maybe I should come here so we can see. So this is what we have basically. So let's target our class of container, and let's just basically just center everything. So I'm going to give it 100% of the viewport height, and I'll set the display to flex. I'll justify content to center, and I would align items also to center. Let's set our flex direction to column. Okay, and let's add a background. So I have a background image, so I'll just do background, and I'll just use my image. So it's in my images folder and it's bg.jpg. Okay, we're going to set it to no repeats, and we're going to center it. Let's do background size, and let's set it to cover. Okay, so let's save. Okay, so basically this is what we have, and our digital whatever is out of the flow of the page. So but no problem, we're going to style that. So let's come to the next place and get our title. Let's do a width of 50 rem, 50 rem, and let's do a background color of green. Let's save. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so let's do some padding. So top and bottom, let's just do 2.5 rem, and left and right 0. Let's do title and h1, and basically for that we're just going to set the font size. So let's just do font z of 3 rem. Let's transform it to uppercase, and let's align it, the text align and center. Let's give it a color of white and save. Okay, so this is what we have. So basically the plan here is not to really go all gaga with CSS. We just want to have something basic and use our JavaScript to do what we need to do. So let's give this a width of same as the upper one, so 50 rem, and let's give it a background color, and we're just going to use RGBA. Okay, so I'm going to do 90 and 9 and 94, and I'm going to give it an opacity of 0.5. Okay, let's do some padding, and let's just say 5 rem. So 5 rem on the top and bottom, 0 on the left and right. Let's give it a font size of a really large font size, so let's just do 7 rem, and I said a text align of center as well, and save. Okay, so but nothing displays here because we're supposed to do that with JavaScript. Okay, so let's then get the dates modifier class, and let's just make it a little bit different. So I'm just going to grab the background color here. I don't think I grabbed it, but let me just type it out. So background color, and I'll set it to purple. I'm not really choosing fantastic colors, so let's change the padding to 2 rem and 0 on the left and right. Let's change the font size to 3 rem and save. Okay, so basically we are done with the HTML CSS. So like I said, the important aspect is actually the JavaScript, because JavaScript that does almost everything. So let's start, and I'll just go to my index.html file, and I'll just write my JavaScript under here. I'll just say scripts, and all my JavaScript is going to be inside here. Okay, so of course you can always separate it. You can just, you know, add like a maybe script.js or something and link it here, but I just want to put mine here. So the first thing, let's just start by writing a function. So I'll say function, and I would name the function start time. Okay, so everything is going to be in my function. So the first thing I would say is, I would say let today, right, be equals to, and I would then get the new date. Okay, and I'll just get the date function, and that's all. So the first thing after we've set our new date function is let's get the day. Okay, that's the Monday. So this is what we want to do first, Monday, right? Okay, so let me add a comment and say get day. Okay, and I'm going to say let day, so that's day, and I'll just declare it, and I'll come here and I'll use a switch statement to get the day. Okay, so I would say switch, right, and I'll say today. Okay, dot get day function method rather. Okay, and let's just do this. So if you know your switch statements, you know that there are different cases that you try on this thing here. So basically what I'm going to say is, I'll just say case 0. Okay, case 0, and I'll then specify what I want to happen. So I would say if case 0, and I'll then say day is equals to Sunday. Okay, and this is the point where I'll then break the statement. So I'll do this, and I'll say break. Okay, so basically what I want to do is, I want to replicate this for case 0 to 6. Okay, because if you do today dot get day, it's going to actually start from 0. So 0 is equals to Sunday. So if I come here, I can just maybe copy this, right, and duplicate it. Okay, so basically all I need to do is just to change, so I'll change this to 1. Okay, so basically that's what we're going to do. So I think we're done with the getting the day aspect of the project. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to get the date. Okay, so I'm going to come here, add a comment, and I'll say get date. Okay, and this should be fairly straightforward. So the first thing is let's create variables. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll say const, and I'll start by getting the dd, and the dd is going to be equals to today dot get date. Okay, let's close that up, and I can basically just duplicate these twice, and I'll change this to month, and I'll change this to month as well. Okay, so but for the month it's actually going to start from 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say month plus 1. Okay, so that it starts from 1. Okay, so January, February, March, and so on. Okay, so that's why we're doing that. So for this one I'm going to say year, so I'm just going to say y, okay, which stands for year, and I'm going to change this to get full year. Okay, so we're done with that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to see that if the day, so let me just come down here, and I'm just going to say that if the day, so dd, right, sorry, that should be like this, and I'll say if the day is less than, sorry, that should be less than 10, right, I'm going to add a 0 in front of it. So I'll say dd, right, is equals to, so let's add a 0. I'll say 0 and plus dd. So basically we're just adding a 0 in front of, you know, what we're doing here. Okay, so let's close this up, and we're going to just replicate this, and let's just copy this and paste it in. I'll change this to the month. So we'll say if the month is less than 10, then we want the month to be 0. So we want to add a 0 in front of the month. Okay, so for months like January, so basically 1 to 10, 1 to 9, sorry, that's 1 to September, January to September, is going to add a 0 in front of it. That's basically what we just wrote here. Okay, so now let's now display the date. Okay, so I don't know if I should add a comment, so I can just say something like display time and date. So basically how we're going to do this, first let's set a const. So let's create a variable, and we're going to say this variable, we're going to call it dates, right, and we're going to set it to be equals to documents dot query selector. So okay, and we're going to set it to, we're going to look for the date, so I'll say dot date. Okay, and that's all. Let's close this. So basically let me show you what we're targeting here. We're targeting this empty div with a class of date. Okay, so let me just see what I wrote. Okay, so there's, okay, yeah, that's correct. So dot date. Okay, I'll then say date dot inner html. Okay, I'll set it to be equals to, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get the day, right, plus, and I'm going to add a space, so I'll just add a space here, and I'll say plus the day, which is our variable dd, and let's add another plus, and this time we're going to add a forward slash, and let's concatenate it with our months. Okay, and let's add another forward slash, so there should be a plus here, right, and let's add our year, so y, and I think we can close it up and let's save. Okay, so let me just come up here and say outside of the function, I'm just going to say, I'll say window.onload. In other words, when the browser is open, right, and I'll set it to equals to, I'll call the start time function. Okay, and I'll save. But of course it's not displayed, we want this to be white. So basically I think we can just go to our style dot scss, and let's just make sure that so title h1, right? Okay, so it should be display here. So I think we can just come here and set the color to white and save. Okay, so basically this is what we have. All right, so what we need to do next is we just need to add the time. Okay, so let's just go and do that quickly. And I'm just going to come still inside of the function, so I'll just come here and continue. So I'll add a comment here and I'll say get time, right? So basically what we'll do is let's create more variables. And then we need to specify whether it's AM or PM. So I'll just say, so basically that's what we'll do now is let's say that if, right, so we'll say that if the hours, the minute and the second is less than 10, we want to add a 0 before that number. Okay, so this P is like for the period. Okay, so basically we're almost done. All we just need to do is to display all this logic we've put here. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say const time, right, and I'll set it to be equals to document, right, dot query selector. And what are we querying? We want to get the time class. Okay, so I can close this up and then I'll then say time dot inner html, and I'll set it to be equals to, this is going to be long, so let's start by getting the r, right, and we'll concatenate that with we'll concatenate that with a colon. Okay, so maybe I'll just copy the colon so I can just paste that in. So I'll copy the colon and the plus sign. Okay, so I'll say plus, and let's do minutes, and let's add another colon, and let's do seconds, right, and let's add another, but this time we're just going to put a space, and let's just add our p. Okay, so basically I think we are done here. All right, so let me just save this and let's see what we have. Okay, so basically what we've done here now only displays the time, that's the particular time. Okay, so it's not going to like count and like what we have here. So you see that this one counts, the second aspect of the time counts. So so to achieve that here, what we need to do is we need to come here. Let's set another variable here. So I'm going to say const t. So I'll say const t, right, is equals to, and then I'll use the set timeout function. So set timeout. So I'll just say start time, and I'll say 500. Okay, and then I'll save. Okay, so you see here that this const we put here, it restarts the um start time function every 0.5 seconds. Okay, so basically that's how we can create a digital clock. So we've already spent 23 minutes creating a simple digital clock. That's because I didn't want to be too fast. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you like content like this and you're not subscribed to my channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe and hit the like button. All right, thank you, and see you in another one.